Hello student, welcome back. It is our next lecture. It is an introduction for robotics. In the previous classes, we have give you the idea of robots, and today it is the extension of that. Robot parts. So this figure shows different parts of robot. It is elbow extension, and it is shoulder, it is base, it is pitch, it is yaw, and it is roll. Base, shoulder, elbow, wrist, tool plate, end effectors. Now technical robot term, speed. Speed is the amount of distance per unit time at which the robot can move, usually specified in terms inches per second or meters per second. The speed is usually specified at a specific load or assuming that the robot is carrying a fixed weight. Actual speed may vary depending upon the weight carried by the robot. Load bearing capacity. Load bearing capacity is the maximum weight carrying capacity of the robot. Serial robots that carry large weight must still be precise, are heavy and expensive, with poor payload to weight ratios. Accuracy is the ability of a robot to get the specified position without making a mistake. It is impossible to position a machine exactly. Accuracy is therefore defined as the ability of the robot to position itself to the desired location with the minimum error, usually 0.001 inch. Now the reliability. Reliability is the ability of a robot to repeatedly position itself when asked to perform a task multiple times. Accuracy is an absolute concept, repeatability is relative. Note that a robot that is repeatable may not be very accurate. Likewise, an accurate robot may not be a repeatable. Precision. Precision is the fitness with which a sensor can report a value. For example, a sensor that reads 2.1178 is more precise than a sensor that reads 2.1 for the same physical variable. Precision is related to significant figures. The number of significant figures is limited to the least precise number in a system of sensing or string of calculations. Accuracy, repeatability, and precision example. The concept of accuracy, repeatability, and precision were defined on the previous page. These terms, all meaning quite different things, are very important in robotics. For instance, many people say precise when they mean accurate. Therefore, a specific example may be warranted to further clear up this definition. So the table gives this day 1 distance in kilometer 15.06, time 0.45.17, that is to 45 minutes 17 seconds. Day 2 15.06, time 45.19, day 3 15.06, time 45.18. Are these three rides accurate, repeatable, or precise? Answer: this is amazing data is highly repeatable, since the distance and time turned out nearly identical for three separate cyclic instances of the same route. So this is an example. Is the distance accurate? To answer this word, we need to know the true measurement of the distance. If we know the exact distance to be 15.10 kilometer, then we would say the data is quite accurate. Conversely, if the true value is 16.22 kilometer, we would say the data is not especially accurate and we would need to recalibrate the distance measurement of the computer. I cannot know the true distance without a lot of time and expense, so I am forced to rely on my previous calibration of the computer using mile marks on the bike path for accuracy. Usually, the time measurement in a bike computer should be highly accurate, but with automatic starting and stopping of time measurement with bike information, there could be some daily variation that did not show up much in this data, evidently. It is this data precise? The answer to this question is relative. The distance measurement of 15.06 is more precise than the other computer that would work 15.1. So this is an example how accuracy and repeatability and precision they are related. So I'm skipping this part. Now it is work envelope. Work envelope is the maximum robot reach or volume with which a robot can operate. This is usually specified as a combination of the limits of each of the robot parts. The figure below shows how a work envelope of a robot is documented. This is also called robot workspace. Work cells. Robots seldom function in an isolated environment. In order to do useful work, robots must coordinate their movements with other machines and equipment and possibly with humans. A group of machines or equipment positioned with a robot and robots to do useful work in terms of work cell. For example, a robot doing welding on an autonomous assembly line must coordinate with a conveyor that is moving the car frame and a laser positioning inspection robot that uses a laser beam to locate the position of the weld and then inspect the quality of the weld when it is complete. Robot power source and actuators. The robot drive system and power source determine characteristics such as speed, load bearing capacity, accuracy, and repeatability as defined above. Electric motor, DC servo motors. A robot with an electrical drive uses an electric motor to position the robot. This robot can be accurate but are limited in their load bearing capacity. Hydraulic cylinders, fluid pressure. A robot with a hydraulic drive system is designed to carry very heavy objects but may not be very accurate. Pneumatic cylinders, air pressure. A pneumatic driven robot is usually too similar to one with a hydraulic drive system. It can carry less weight but is more compliant, less rigid to distributing forces. McKibben artificial muscles, air pressure. The McKibben artificial muscle was invented in the 1950s but was too complicated to control until the 1990s. Computers, like the human muscle, these artificial muscles can only contract and cannot push. They have natural compliance and a very high payload to weight ratio. Piezoelectric materials. A piezoelectric material can be used as an actuator since it deflects when a voltage is applied. These are not very useful in robotics since the motion and forces are so small. Conversely, a piezoelectric material may not be used as a sensor reading the resulting voltage when the material is deflected by outside forces. Robot end efforters. End effectors are the tools attached to the end of the robot arm that enables it to do useful work. Most robotic manufacturers either to do not include end effectors with the robots or include a general purpose gripper to allow you to do simple tasks. Typically, the end effector must be purchased or designed separately. Also called end of arm tooling, end effectors are usually attached to the robot tool plate after the last wrist joint via a standard mechanical interface. Like robots themselves, and end effectors require a power source, often electric or pneumatic. Grippers are the most common end effectors. They provide the equivalent of the thumb and an opposing finger, allowing the robot to grasp small parts and manipulate them. Some examples of gripper: parallel jaw gripper, versatile plane gripper, suction grasp gripper, three finger gripper, four finger gripper, humanoid robot hand, fingerless gripper. Machine tools. Robot end effectors can be machine tools such as drills, grinding wheels, cutting wheels, and sanders. So, drill tool, NASA cutter scoop, robot measuring system, measuring instrument are end efforts that allow the robot to precisely measure parts by running the arm lightly over the part using a measuring probe or gauge. Laser and water jet cutters. Laser and water jet cutters are robot end effectors that use high intensity laser beams or high pressure abrasive water jets to cut sheet metal or fiberglass parts to shape. So, laser beam tool, welding torch, spray painting robots. Welding torch. Welding torch are robot end effectors that enable robot to weld parts together. These end effectors are widely used in automotive industry. Spray painting tools. Automatic spray painting is a useful application for robots in the automotive and other industries. Glue application tools. Automatic spot or trajectory gluing is a useful application for robots in automotive and other industries. Glue applying robot tool changer. Tool changer. Some robot systems are equipped with automatic tool changers to extend the usefulness of the robot to more tasks. So it is the end of the annexure for module 5 and lecture 1 and 2. So thank you.